Hi, welcome to Psychologies. I'm Michelle Tranter, barefoot coach and creator of the How to Be Happy Working From Home coaching program. In this short coaching video, we're going to be taking a look at how to tune our mindset so that we can fulfill more of our potential whilst working from home. This is week 3 of the 4-week program, and you can access the other videos to start this course from the beginning, or you can subscribe to Psychologies magazine to access the full course, and also includes weekly journal workbooks for more in-depth coaching. You can subscribe via the link in this video's caption. If you're already a subscriber, head to the Life Leap Club page on the Psychologies website, and there you can register or sign in. So, tuning our mindset. Well, mindset is the way that we see the world. Every one of us is unique with our own thoughts and beliefs, and our views have been shaped really since the day we were born by our experiences. Physical well-being contributes significantly to how well we feel emotionally. And if we see the world from a negative place, this can also influence how well we look after ourselves physically. So the two are very much interlinked, and if steps are not taken to change any negativity, then a downward spiral can happen and ultimately lead into ill health. So I think working from home suits some of us very well, particularly if we have a more introverted personality or an otherwise long commute, and maybe we have some caring responsibilities. So working from home suits us. For all of us, some days we might feel in flow, enjoying a contented and productive day, and other days we might struggle to get started and feel quite unhappy. To be your best self both inside and outside of work, tuning into how you're thinking and feeling is the first step to realising your full potential. Common working from home blues are feeling isolated, overwhelmed, demotivated. We might find ourselves procrastinating, wanting to curl up and go to sleep, raiding the fridge, or becoming angry or frustrated at the smallest thing. So, this session is looking at what you can do to fine tune your mindset when the negativity gremlins start to take hold. So, question 1, ask yourself, what can you do to improve the way that you care for yourself physically? We've already said physical and emotional health are very much intertwined. So, what are the ways that you currently take care of yourself, and what could you do more of? It might be things like regular breaks, eating more healthily, getting up and stretching, walking around the house or the garden at regular intervals, um, thinking about ways that you can ensure you get a good night's sleep. You might think about taking up some new forms of exercise or hobbies, or perhaps reconnecting with old ones. So, this is about priming yourself physically, which will have a positive impact on how you feel emotionally and the mindset that you have. Let's now look at some of the negativity gremlins and how we might overcome these. So the first one is about isolation, and sometimes this can kick in if you're more of an extrovert, so you really relish being surrounded by people and you take energy from the fact of having people around you. Suddenly working from home, that may not be so readily available. It could also be that after a period of time of working from home, you finding every day feels like the rest, and that in itself can create feelings of isolation and being alone. I think the first thing to do is to think about what is at the root of that? And are you really, truly alone? Or are there people that you can reach out to? You might want to set up a cuppa chat with a colleague, just make a phone call, change your focus. You know, if you've been attached to your screen for a long period of time, it might just help to get up and go and talk to your pets or anybody else in the household who can start to make you feel that you belong somewhere. You might think of ways that you can connect with your colleagues, albeit remotely, but how can you make that not only about work, but in terms of relationship building and connections? So maybe put together a team quiz or offer a skills exchange. You know, you offer to do a short session on something that you know how to do that people can tune into, and they the same for you. You might want to ask a colleague to collaborate on a project rather than doing it on your own. And perhaps one of the key things that you can do when you're feeling isolated is to think, well, who else could be feeling just like me? And by reaching out to them, actually, you're not only helping them, but you're helping yourself too. Okay, one of the other negativity mindset gremlins that can strike is that of overwhelm. So this is when you're just feeling you can't see the wood for the trees, everything is piling in on top of you, and it feels very much like I can't cope, this is too difficult. So it's really about how you can break through those feelings and what you can think and do to overcome these. So the first thing really is to take a step back, and then to perhaps think of a way that you can distance yourself from all of that crowd and start to get a more reasonable and logical view of it. One of the activities that you might find helpful is to grab a pack of Post-it notes or pieces of paper, and on each Post-it note write whatever's going on that you feel needs to be done and is crowding on and you need to think about. And you might end up with quite a pile of Post-it notes, but effectively they are all pieces of your jigsaw puzzle. And once you have those out in front of you, you can then start to think about, well, what are my priorities? What is urgent? What needs to be done because there's a tight deadline looming? And what is important? So there we're thinking about the impact of doing that particular thing. Does it have an impact on somebody else being able to do something? Is it important as far as your job role is concerned? Is it important as far as the company is concerned? And then for the rest of the items, really you're putting them into degrees of how important they are. And then what you need to think about is to concentrate just on those things that are urgent and important for today. The rest you know about, you've captured them. Think about what is urgent and important just for today. Other ways of helping with overwhelm are to think about connecting with a trusted colleague, or to ask a manager for some support, perhaps somebody else in the team that could take on some of your workload. Okay, another way of your mindset spiraling is that of feeling demotivated, or finding yourself procrastinating. So really there are three main reasons why this happens. It could be purely down to motivation. I don't like doing that and I don't want to do that. It could be about you're worried that you might get something wrong, or that you don't have all the information that you need and it's very hard to get started, or that you need to make some sort of decision and you're a little bit concerned that you might make the wrong decision. So being demotivated, and particularly if you're procrastinating, can be as a result of one of those three things. So then it's about, okay, so if I recognise that I am demotivated because I'm worried about making a mistake, then you can practically think about, so what can I do to help me do my best and avoid making a mistake if at all possible? And that might be to do some more reading, or to reach out to somebody and ask for their advice, or actually to say, this is the best I can do, and I'm happy with that. Question 5 is a more general one, and it looks at how you can change your negative mood into a positive one. So what sort of things have you done before when you felt quite low and you've wanted to regain some positivity? And that could be things like physically putting on some loud music and dancing around the kitchen, going for a walk in the garden, or it could be things like journaling around that question. So I am feeling blah because, and then just keep going and just writing and getting it out of your system. So really identifying and acknowledging the fact that you're feeling low. That's okay. You know, we can't all be 100% positive all the time. It's okay to feel low, and then work through that. And the last question then is again on that positivity frame, to try and grab hold of tuning your mindset, is to actually look back over your day and to celebrate your successes and acknowledge the good things that have happened that day. And that's again really, really important for you to recognize what it is you do well. We often forget to give ourselves a pat on the back. What it is you've done well, what it is you do well, and that will all add into you feeling confident in your ability to do your job. So as we know, workplace is such an important part in our lives. I'm passionate about helping people like you make it as enjoyable and as successful as possible. If you want to find out more, you can visit my website, www.achievemorelivemore.com. In the final week of this course, next week, you'll be creating and committing to your happy and productive working from home lifestyle action plan. And I look forward to seeing you then.